Thanks for checking out my video. Here you're going to learn how to engage into your core and how your posture relates to everything. You can skip through to the exercises. So we're going to talk about your core, okay? So your core is your hip girdle, your shoulder girdle, your spinal mobility, and the stability of your spine. You always want to be in the most shock absorbing position whenever you're exercising. Neutral spine has 3 natural curves of your spine. Your lower lumbar, your mid-thoracic, and your cervical. These 3 curves are the natural curves of your spine. We want to be in this position to support our body because gravity is going to push you down, right? And you see people walking around like this. We have to fight gravity. I want to go back and up because then it engages into my pelvic floor. I want you to engage into your pelvic floor. That is the muscle that stops you peeing on a long car journey. So you engage your pelvic floor, belly button back and up. This is supporting your lower back, your lumbar, the first natural curve, okay? Step 2, how do we support our thoracic spine? We want to take our ribs and we want to draw them together and down, okay? Belly button's backing up, ribs together and down. So a good way to practice this is just to take your hands, your fingers, and let them touch. You're going to take a breath and let the ribs expand, and as you exhale, you're going to bring the ribs together. Inhale, like really help your muscles and push them together just till you get this yourself. Inhale, exhale. You're using the intercostal muscles. Last key here is shoulder blades down and back. Okay, so my shoulder blades are down and back. I want you to think about your shoulder blades as little wings. We're pulling them down and back. Belly button's backing up, ribs together and down, shoulder blades down and up. Now, chin goes back. I should feel completely aligned right now. Belly button's back, ribs together and down, shoulder blades down and up. My head, when we're squatting, we want to be a neutral spine when we're doing a bunch of stuff because we want to support our spine. Spinal stability is part of your core and the mobility of your spine. The yogis say you are only as old as your spine is flexible. So we're going to work neutral spine. And what I want you to do is you're going to make a triangle with your hands like this. And you're going to put them on your hip bones and your pelvic bone. So this part of my fingers are going on my pubic bone. This part is on my hips. And I'm just going to rock forward and back. Forward and back, forward and back until I can find where my pubic bone is in line with my hips and everything feels even. Now, this is neutral spine for me. I have very large glutes, so that is why you see this massive gap between the mat and my back. Everybody else might be different. We're all unique in our bodies. But this is where my pelvis is neutral. I'm going to have the space. I'm going to work in exercises to keep this neutral. There are exercises we will work where we're not neutral, where our back will be flat. But right now we're working for neutral. You're going to take your belly button back and up, okay? Back towards my spine and up towards my ribs. Right now that's me contracting my transverse abdominals. I'm engaging into my pelvic floor. Next, I'm going to slide my ribs down and together. So this is me really engaging. Shoulders down and back, and put your heels into the floor. We're going to remain neutral. We're going to work for this. We're going to work for this engagement. Okay, I'm just going to slowly keep my pelvic floor engaged. I'm lifting my knee over my hip. Okay, and I'm going to lower this slowly. Look at the angle that it goes back down. My ankle is in line with my knee. My knee is going to come over my hip. Slowly down and up, while keeping my belly button back and up, ribs together, down and back, shoulders down, okay? I'm gonna do 5 of these. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. I am working very hard not to let my neutral pelvis rock anywhere, okay? So we're just doing a little bit of Pilates right now. Okay, here, up, and down. This is all I want you to do. So 5 on each leg. Now squeeze the legs together. Same thing. You're gonna lift up. And if you can't take your heels to the floor without your back popping up, I want you just to go to where you can maintain this control. As you get stronger in your core, you will be able to go all the way down. But at first, it may be here. Now, if it's too much to stay in neutral, I'm going to let you put your back down because you have no feet on the ground. So your back is being supported. But if your back is on the mat, I want you to plug your back into the mat. There should be no space. You're really working for this. Ribs down, belly button backing up. And we're gonna take our heels towards the floor. Only if that first option is too hard. You're gonna push your back into the mat and you're gonna do 5 of these. Again, if you can't take your heels to the floor, only go as far as you can in that range of motion without your back taking over. This is all the front of your core engaged. Yes, we are working back stability. Okay, so that's your first exercise. The next exercise I want you to get work on is bringing the ribs together and down. So you're just gonna flex, pulling the muscles towards each other, okay? So that is you engaging the intercostal muscles, pulling the ribs towards each other. And you might feel this in your back because it's lots of muscles. And I'm staying in neutral spine, right? Belly button backing up. My pelvis is nice and neutral. Shoulders are back. Okay, that is your second exercise. Okay, so this is gonna be a series. You're gonna cross your leg, right leg over your left, and I want you to place your right hand on your thigh. I wanna stay in neutral spine, so that means I'm engaging my transverse abdominals, belly button backing up. I'm gonna take the other hand and make a little finger tent. I'm gonna come up, ribs, slide down towards my hips. Ribs to hips, rib is sliding to hip. So think of this as up, across. But I don't want you to think of as an elbow to knee. I want you to think of rib to hip. I'm going across. So I'm gonna come up and across. Up and across. Up and across. I'm inhaling on the way down, exhaling on the way up. Belly button is back and up. Pelvic floor is engaged. Okay, and then I'm gonna do 10 of those, and then I'm gonna hold it across and slide for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more. Okay, then you're gonna come down, make finger tents. We're gonna lift this foot and this knee right over the hip. So everything's gonna come up. My shoulders and my hips. Okay, I'm lifting my hips up, shoulders up, trying to kiss my shin. Okay, so hips are coming up, shoulders are coming up, and I'm controlling that heel coming back. We're doing 10 of these. Exhale up. Okay, now I'm gonna take my right ankle and cross it over my left. Okay, ribs to hips, abs to tight. This time, there's no space between my back and the mat. I'm not in neutral because my legs are in the air. Okay, so I'm supporting my back. My hips are gonna come up and I'm gonna squeeze my inner thighs together at the top. Hips up, shoulders up. And I'm sending my legs out in a diagonal. Okay, hips up, hips and shoulders. Taking my knees to my shoulders and my shoulders to my knees and then squeezing the inner thighs on the way out. Your inner thighs all the way up to your knee is where you're engaging into your pelvic floor. Okay, so 10 of those, and then we're gonna cycle it out. Think of rib to hip, not shoulder, elbow to knee. So rib to hip, 10. And then you're trying to touch the wall in front of you with your legs. Long legs, ribs to hips, 10 of these. Good, and then just have a little stretch. Imagine someone's pulling you in the opposite direction. Pull your left wrist and your right ankle. And same thing, right wrist, left ankle. We're gonna do everything we just did on the left side, okay? So, left hand, left thigh, little finger tents, up, cross. Up and across, up and across. Up and across. I'm exhaling on the way up, keeping my abs engaged, keeping my pelvic floor engaged, using that breath. Inhale, exhale. Exhale up. Now, 10 across, slide. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. You're going to take that heel. Everything comes up like we did before. 10. Hips up, shoulders up, abs engaged. Exhale up. Good. Remember, left over right. Everything comes up, squeeze the inner thighs. Send those feet towards the corner of your ceiling. Boom. Hips up, shoulders up, abs stay engaged. Exhale it. Exhale up. Keeping the abs engaged, pulling the belly button down and up. Try not to let the belly pop up. 10 of these. We're going to go right into those bicycles. Try to touch the wall in front of you. Rib to hip. 10 on each. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stretch it out. And I just want you to flip over onto your belly, okay? You're gonna bring your hands underneath your shoulders, okay? And I want you to think of growing taller. Squeeze your glutes, press through your legs, grow taller, and press the floor away, okay? Pull your shoulders down away from your ears. I don't wanna see this. Shoulders down and away. I've got a little doggy. Lift your chest and keep your hands right under your shoulders. Stretch. Think of pulling yourself forward as opposed to dumping. You're pulling the shoulders down, squeezing your butt. Just look over that right shoulder and look over your left shoulder. Now, on the way down, I want you to grow taller, get longer through your spine. So you're gonna come onto all fours. And I want you to think of belly button backing up, ribs together, shoulders down and back. You're gonna rotate your elbows back towards your knees. Notice that I'm not here. I'm rotating my elbows back to my knees. I'm pressing my whole palm into the mat, okay? So I'm keeping that spine in neutral. There should be a little space between my back, my lower back, my mid back, and my cervical spine here. This is neutral spine, and all I want you to do is reach the right fingertips and left toes. I'm gonna work really hard to keep the spine in neutral as I extend. Now, pull the shoulder and the hip out of its socket, plug it back into its socket, plug the arm into the socket, plug the hip into the socket, but keep reaching muscular energy. Lower and lift. Exhale it up. Keep the abs engaged. Try to imagine you have 2 cups of tea on the back of your hips. We're not spilling our tea. And I'm working kind of fast here just to show you, but I want you to focus a mind-body connection here. Same thing on the other side, right? Extend the right, left fingertips, right leg. Engage everything. Pull your shoulder out of its socket. Pull your hip out of its socket. Plug your hip into its socket. Plug the shoulder. Reach and lower. Keeping the abs engaged, keeping neutral. Exhale up. So you're always going to exhale on the way up on any movement. Okay? Inhale down, exhale up. Very good for your spine, for spinal stability and spinal mobility. So here's what you're going to do after that. A little mobility on your spine. You're going to roll onto, I want you to pull your belly button back and up, cat-cow, and as you exhale, tilt your tailbone up and look up. Keep those elbows rotated. Round under, press the floor away, press everything away, pull your belly up, tilt your tailbone up and look up. Okay, cat-cow, that's really good for spinal mobility. Then you're gonna find that neutral spine again. Hips, abs, everything engaged. And all I want you to do is take a little stretch. You're gonna take that hand onto your ear. It's gonna come here, and you're gonna open, okay? Open it up. Open it up. And we'll do the other side. That's it. So we're going to do a dead bug. I want you to press your shoulders down into the mat. Now, there should be no space between the back and my mat. I'm no longer neutral because I'm going to lift this knee right over this hip, keeping my ankle in line with my knee. Both are going to come up. Whenever I have both legs off, I'm going to press my back deep into the mat. I'm going to imagine I put a blueberry here and I'm not going to let it up. I'm going to squish my blueberry between the mat and my back. My arms are directly over my shoulders. I'm going to extend my left arm, my left leg, and my right arm. Bring it back to center. Keeping everything engaged. Ribs to hips, belly button backing up. Left arm, right leg. Nothing else moves. Bring it back. Right arm, left leg. Bring it back. And you are really working to keep this core super tight and not to let the other two legs and arms move. Okay, we're gonna do 8. Really important. Your dead bug stays controlled and keeping the ribs towards your hips, keeping that transverse abdominals engaged. Do not let any space happen between your back and the mat. That is what you're working for. Then I want to do hip lifts, okay? Really important. You're going to come into this position. Now, if this is too much, I'm going to show you a modification. But make sure your elbow is underneath your shoulder. I'm going to push through my whole palm. What's going to want to happen is this. I want to press through my whole forearm, pressing the whole forearm into the floor. I'm going to engage my legs, engage my core. I'm squeezing that bottom hip. And I'm just going to lift up. Now, if this is too hard, you're squeezing that bottom hip and that bottom oblique. If it's too hard, put your hand down and help you with your hand. If that's too hard, bend your knees in this little figure where your feet are in line with your hips, in line with your legs, okay? And you're just gonna lift up. You're gonna press and squeeze this hip and squeeze this oblique, okay? I'm really working to keep that top shoulder open. I'm not rotating it yet. That's the next exercise. So I want 8 on each side. Okay. You're looking to do 10 reps of V-ups. This is all about timing. Exhaling at the top. If that's too hard, your modification is single leg V-ups. You're reaching for your toes. Exhaling on the way up. Then we're going to do body rows, 10 reps. Again, this is about timing, scooping your arms around to touch your toes. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I hope you got a good sweat and a good workout. Please like, subscribe, and share. Also, leave a comment and tell me what other exercises you'd like.